let's see what Brett Goode thinks. Brett,
I bet he's going, too.
Have you bought tickets for you and Monica this Saturday night?
We've kind of been waiting until the last minute. So I'm doing a golf deal on Saturday and Sunday, and we've been kind of debating it, and we've been looking at tickets because you can buy them. There's a lot available. We saw some more last night, and I told her to go ahead and buy some about a month ago, and she still hadn't done it, and now you can get a little bit better deal. So she's the correct one.
Okay, well that'll be
that's usually the way it works. But what I have noticed, not that she's always correct. That just goes without mentioning, right? That she's always more right than you. That's how it works in every married couple's household.
She's not listening. He can say whatever he wants.
Yeah, exactly. It's on tape somewhere. But I've noticed that a lot of these tickets are available on Facebook and social media, and people trying to do, hey, just Venmo me the money because you can electronically send them over. That's what I'm seeing a lot more of this week, and people not wanting to give up them fees to, SeatGeek and Vivid and Ticketmaster.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of people didn't realize too. I know a bunch of people that bought tickets before and they didn't realize baseball. I mean, they're going to different parts of the country for travel baseball. It's that time of year where you've got your kids playing sports, and there's a lot of people that are realizing they can't go, and they didn't even think about that back when they bought tickets, and they bought as many as they could. So yeah, and most people don't want to pay those fees. I wouldn't either if I was selling tickets. It's just as easy. I met a guy yesterday that sold his house on Facebook because he didn't want to pay any of the fees. It just made it easier. So things are getting a little bit easier for everybody.
Brett, what's this golf thing you got this weekend? Is it a charity event, or what do you got planned?
It's a member at Pinnacle, and so it's a lot of fun. I played it last year for the first time, and it rained on the first day. It was like 40 degrees. This year it's looking like 75 and sunny, so it should be good.
That would be that'd be a fun weekend. Have you checked the weather, Tommy, lately for Garth?
I know there's a 30% chance of rain the last I looked.
Hopefully that keeps going
for Saturday.
Down
but, Saturday, no rain right now in the forecast. 78 for the high, a little wind, but partly cloudy. But right now, no chance of rain. Now Sunday, 90% chance of rain.
That's fine.
That's fine. I don't need to go to the concert on Sunday. I need to go on Saturday.
We'll be gone.
And I don't care if it rains Saturday morning.
No,
as long as it's not raining Saturday evening.
As long as it's not raining at about 5:30. Well, really, I'd prefer from about 2 o'clock on because I'm going to get there early and try to do some tailgating and just get ahead of the traffic. Most people want to beat the traffic. I want to beat it going in, and then I'll wait for it going out.
Are you sure you're not staying up there?
I am staying up there.
Oh, you are staying up there. Okay.
And I hear a hotel room is impossible to get north of the tunnel right now.
I bet Airbnbs would be pretty expensive.
So Brett's got a guest room. If anyone wants to stay, just call Brett. He'll hook you up.
Save the Airbnb. Yeah. I can raise that rate right now.
That's crazy. Brett, you mentioned that. My aunt and uncle told me who live in Tulsa. They said if they wanted to for Southern Hills, they could rent their house out. Get this. You ready for this number? For $40,000 that week.
People do that in Augusta every year for the Masters.
$40,000, y'all.
Yeah.
That's a down payment on a house.
Taxes and insurance for the year, you got to do it.
Why aren't you? I mean, that would be if someone would give you $40,000. I'm going to tell you, you could rent my house for a week for a lot less. I can just tell you that right now. It's not at Southern Hills.
I agree with Tommy.
But mine is available. I'll even throw the kids and the dog in for the week if you want for a lot less than $40,000.
Yeah, so I take it. Hey,
we'll start the bidding at 20.
I'll get you some home cooked meals for that.
I'll stay and be the pool boy for the week. Whatever I need to do.
Speaking of renting out houses, Brett, are you gonna cop that invite to Pittman's Lake House this summer? Or is any player gonna get invited, or is that just a Jamie and Sam getaway that no one else is allowed to go to?
I mean, I would assume it's probably more for them just to get away, and that way you can actually relax. I mean, when you get together in certain things and you want to have a little relaxation and really can truly relaxation, you don't want phones around, you don't want certain people around, and you just kind of want to be around really close friends and family. So even if I did get the invite, I probably wouldn't be making a trip down there just to let them have that moment.
I always get a kick out of the Manning stuff where Saban is driving Eli. Eli's on the tube, and Saban's driving is flipping him off. I don't think, I could be wrong.
Middle finger flipping him off, him off the tube.
But I don't think if KJ...
We've all flipped Saban off at some point.
Yeah, if KJ was on the tube, I don't think, Brett, that he'd be driving like a maniac like Saban was when Eli was on the back of his boat.
Well, I don't know. Saban always talks about it every year with those new guys that he has to try and flip them. That's his goal, and I think he only had that one guy. I can't remember his name, but he's a big old boy. He couldn't get off the tube. And yeah, I mean, you're going to be in water, and you're going to be a lot smarter and safer with your quarterback. But at the end of the day, you also want to flip them over because it is just water.
What did last summer when Saban ran out of gas on the lake and was mad and embarrassed because someone didn't put gas in the boat and they had to get towed into the marina?
He's still in that old school self-service. Somebody's always serving up his boat and filling it up. Yeah. Somebody got fired that day.
Yeah. He didn't fill up the tank, Tommy.
He was just too worried about the cost of gas at the marina.
I guess
so. All right, did you watch the practice that was televised Saturday? It wasn't the final practice. There's 2 more this week, but did you get to see it? And if so, what did you think? I know it was kind of a tougher watch indoors versus the stadium due to the camera angles and all that, but what were your thoughts coming away from the practice on Saturday?
So I didn't get to watch it live, but I was picking up bits and pieces of it because we were dealing with Easter eggs and rain. But it was a lot of fun just to see the guys that they make last minute adjustments, be able to go inside with the bleachers. That's kind of it's really good for a football team. Have to deal with adversity. Everything's not the same. It's not the way that you script it because that's the way the games are going to be. We know how the SEC is and everything turns out. And so having those guys go out there and be able to deal with that and do it in a good upbeat manner. And I think the guys coming away from it, I think that just the competitiveness. I think that we're seeing things that we haven't got to see in the last, for years where we've got the depth now. We can have big-time competitive periods and really, our twos are have just a good shot to be number ones, and that hadn't always been the case. But I think, outside of our starting 2 linebackers, I think that's kind of the hole that we need to fill, trying to really have some depth there and just guys kind of stepping up into that role. And taking over because we all know how good we've had the linebackers the last few years.
When you look at KJ Jefferson's play, obviously this team's going to center around that offensively. What were your takeaways from his play where he wasn't full go as far as getting tackled? A few drops from his wide receivers that I thought frustrated him at times. What did your trained eye observe with KJ's game and the offense and the tempo and all the things that go into Kendall Briles' system?
I think you're seeing a lot of, he knows everything that's going on. This is the perk of being a third-year guy with a third-year coordinator and everybody, all the players and the pieces around you. We know he's a leader, but that leadership has really gone up another level. And that ownership of, we're taking that next step. And then he really wants to take that next step. And the frustration of where you have throws, where you could have been better, the guys could have caught, you get frustrated. It's football, but the offense, it starts running smoother as he's going, and I think it'll just pick up the more he needs that physicality. He needs to really be live and have those live action, shots at him. And I think he just gets better as the season will go on. When we get to that point, that he'll just get that much better each week because he is a physical guy. He runs, and that opens up his game a lot more as well.
Got some NFL questions for you, Brett. This tanking stuff, that the report with the Cleveland Browns and Hugh Jackson and everything, when you were playing, did you notice that was pretty prevalent, or was that just kind of an odd occurrence that you felt like certain teams were doing?
You always think about that, but honestly, when we played Detroit back in, that would have been, I think that was 2010-ish era, and we put them 0-16. It was actually the first team that went 0-16. It was a hard game. Of course, we had Matt Flynn came in and threw 6 touchdowns. Aaron didn't get to play that week, but it was really a tough physical game. And even when we went to Detroit, it was tough. Those teams, I've never understood that when they're they say they're tanking. We'll see what comes out. Right now, they're in the he said she said because the Browns are they've opened arms, said come on in. We'll see how in depth it goes. I don't see losing the guy. For the really good organizations, they don't want to have the first round pick. Because that means that you have a ton of pieces that aren't there, and then you get you into a salary cap issue in a few years where you've got to have a lot of issues going on, and then you end up with like a Baker Mayfield where they trying to trade him away. Nobody wants his contract, so there's a lot of issues that go through with all that. It'll be interesting to see how because they're going to go in depth with it now, and I bet they get it done a lot faster than the NCAA does on their investigation.
It's being reported that he's not even going to show up to these workouts and everything leading into this season. What do you think he is going to do this upcoming year? Where do you think would be a good fit for Baker Mayfield?
It's such a tough one because, is he a top 10 quarterback? No. Is he in the bottom 10? No. I think he's right there in the middle. The average quarterback salary, top 10 guys, is $40 million. You're going to get Baker at around $21 million. So that's kind of a bargain for a guy that, can be a starting quarterback. But I think a lot of, and if we were in the draft, he was coming in the draft, he would be the first quarterback taken. I mean, there is nobody in the draft right now that's really on the, the front end of that. And why would you not want somebody with some experience? I don't know if it's good for him to, any landing spot anywhere would be great. I think you're going to have a lot of that during the draft. And same thing with like Deebo Samuel. You think about him. They're ready to make a contract extension, and he doesn't want to do it. So something's going on there as well. And so we'll see going into next week. As we get closer to the draft, things start moving, and because he's going to play this year. It's just a matter of which team he plays for and how good he performs.
Any team's better than no team, right? Even the Lions.
Any team's better than no team. Yeah, $21 million, $40 million. They're both great numbers. So
they're all better than zero.
They're all better than zero.
Absolutely. All right, Brett Goode, former Razorback, Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers, with us every Wednesday for some NFL and college football insight. He's the guy that can help you with all your employee benefits. Brett, now's the time as renewals are coming around for group benefits. Also, people thinking about their property and casualty insurance with all the storms that have kind of rolled through the last few weeks. Now's the time to get with you for an insurance review.
That's right. You've had all this hail come through. It seems like it was 2 weeks straight where we had wind and hail and tornadoes. And on the group benefit side, with all the COVID we've had the last few years, and the rates are always fluctuating, and so it's always a good time to shop and look around and see if you can get a better deal.
I know I've talked to several friends of mine that own businesses, and their rates because of COVID are going to climb dramatically. So they're looking for options, and sometimes you just got to make adjustments to deductibles and the plans and all these things. That's where your expertise goes to work.
That's right, and you want to take it. You take each group personally, and you just look at it and get the best game plan to really, trying to keep all of your same employees and attract some new ones with some good benefits, because that's really what's driving everybody right now, is trying to hire employees, and you got to have good benefits for that.
651-2292. That's 651-2292. Call Brett this morning. He's with Henderson Phillips. Brett, have a good Wednesday. Enjoy the concert on Saturday, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Is your number one source for all your betting needs, sports info, and odds. Find all the latest sports developments, including this week's odds for the Masters Championship and the start of Major League Baseball season. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so join today. Learn why everyone is saying BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on popular sports and games. BetOnline, where the game starts.